I've been selling my art at art fairs for the past 10 years, and during that time I've developed some really great ways to transport my paintings to and from shows. So I'm going to show you exactly how I do that in this video. I'm going to show you 3 different boxes that I have. This one over here is a custom box that I had a box company make for me around 8 years ago, and it has held up this entire time. So it was a really good investment, but this box was expensive. It cost me about $60 to have made. Now, what I did though is I learned a lot from this box. And I was like, well, how can I recreate this but save money? Because I need like 8 of these boxes, maybe give or take, and I couldn't pay at the time, especially. I didn't make a lot of money when I first started my art fair business. I had to invest money in getting my art fair booth. And so I couldn't afford a lot of these boxes. So I used their design and I modified it for a U-Haul box, which my kitty, Mr. Samadhi, is sitting on. You know, cats love boxes. Usually he tries to get inside the box. And I also modified it for a Lowe's box. The great thing about all of these boxes are that the tops come off. You want the tops to be like this rather than the traditional folding type because you don't have to have any tape to close them. It makes them extremely durable, and you can stack really heavy things on top of them because you don't have to worry about them collapsing in on any of your artwork. Now inside here you can see that I have some dividers, and then I have these covers that my artwork are packed inside of. I have a kitty who really wants to get in this box. The reason why you need to pack everything with covers on them is that you don't want the faces of your paintings to get scraped up. And if you pack them either next to cardboard or each other, there could be abrasiveness that would scratch the front of your paintings. I make these covers myself. You can see they fit around the paintings. I just make them the dimensions that I need to for the painting so it'll fit around here. But what I figured out is fleece works really well. And I gotta say, I am no seamstress. I learned how to sew by getting a sewing machine, the cheapest one I could buy, and watching a YouTube video on how to sew a straight line stitch. This is nothing fancy. It doesn't need to be. It just needs to hold together. I've also tried hiring someone to make these for me, but they were charging me about $30 a piece, and that's just too expensive when you can buy the materials for about $5 for each one of these and make them yourself. This is my medium size box. I got this from U-Haul. It is an 18 by 24 U-Haul box, and so it will fit 16 by 20 paintings that are framed, and I sell a lot of 16 by 20 paintings. But what I did with this one is I went ahead and wrapped each of my dividers in foam. And what I did was I actually just used a stapler at the very top here, and I stapled them into place. The staples eventually will give out maybe after 5 years or so. You'll have to put new staples in if they come loose. But the dividers are a crucial part to packing your work because this way the faces of your artwork don't ever hit each other. They always have cardboard and the foam in between them to protect everything. I absolutely love packing my 16 by 20 pieces this way because you can just pull these in and out really fast when you're packing down and you're wanting to save time. You just pull them in and out. You don't have to wrap them, nothing. So it's super quick on the packing, and you can fit in one of these size boxes about 11 paintings. So it's a really great space saver. It keeps everything in really good condition. But here are some things I've done to modify this U-Haul box, because if you don't do these things, your U-Haul box won't work very well. First, you need to have some handles here on the side. So what we did was we cut a hole in here, and then we reinforce it with duct tape. Duct tape is your best friend when you're coming to making these cheap boxes into something that would be similar to a really expensive custom box. The next thing we did was add waterproof duct tape to the bottom, 2 layers of it, because you are packing your work indoors, outdoors, everywhere. There's rain. At one event, we had a huge amount of soda come down the street because there was a root beer vendor that released all of their excess root beer and just gross stuff that had been sitting in their vendor booth tanks for the entire event. They released it into the drainage areas, and so it flowed through everybody's stuff and ruined it, but I had mine packed with these duct tape layers and it saved all of my artwork. And then if it was sticky on the bottom, all you have to do is wipe it off with a wipe or something like that afterward. And so the duct tape is a crucial component to having these boxes last. If they weren't duct taped, the water or soda would completely ruin them. The other thing I want to show you is how we did the top. We actually took another piece of cardboard, not from the box that we got from U-Haul, but we took this piece of cardboard and we made it into a top similar to the custom box. So it fits on right here. In order to get this top to fit on there properly, what we did was, instead of cutting off the flaps, we actually folded the flaps of the original box down inside of there. This makes it a little bit thicker. I don't know if you can see them down in there, but there is a flap kind of still in there. And then we just kind of taped the corners here to keep those flaps down in place and give a little bit of extra support to the top of the box. Now, with all of this in here, even though we didn't make the box top out of super strong cardboard, they're strong enough that you can stack print bins or other very heavy boxes on top of them. I've even covered them with a table cover and used them as tables at an event. Another thing you want to make sure of if you're packaging your paintings this way, where you don't have the pockets of fabric wrapping completely around the painting, but you just have the foam wrap around the cardboard, is to put a little foam wrap in the bottom of the box before you stick all of these packing materials in there. I made this box for my smaller paintings. I made the cardboard dividers a little bit different in this one. Now this took a little bit more time, but what I did was I sewed a fleece cover for the cardboard instead of having fleece covers for the paintings. And I thought this would be a more durable solution than the foam, because the foam with the staples, eventually after years, they do come apart. And I didn't like the idea of staples potentially getting loose in the box and scratching my paintings. And so I tried this out, and it is an amazing solution for that, because these will last forever. You'll never have to worry about any of the staples, but it does take a little bit extra time and the materials cost more, because fleece costs more than the foam wrap. But if you're wanting to know the very best way to do it, if you have the time, do it this way. If you'd like to learn more ways to set up your art booth on a budget, watch this video. All right, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.